Each year, more than 400,000 people suffer from food poisoning after eating Thanksgiving leftovers. In this week's Health Watch, News Channel 10's Michelle Langowski has more on what you can do to avoid making your guests or yourself sick.
Sometimes Thanksgiving leftovers are better than the actual Thanksgiving meal, but without the proper precautions, they may pose a danger to you and your family. During the holidays, food tends to sit out on the table or counter a lot longer than usual as guests get distracted by family, friends, and festive activities. It may be the last thing on our minds, but we need to be aware of how long that food has been sitting out.
When it comes out of the oven, it cools for about 10 minutes. Then you put it, slice it, put it on the table. Then you've got about 2 hours to get it back in the refrigerator, chilled back down below 40. So that the bacteria won't be growing.
And be thorough when wrapping up and storing leftover foods. The faster leftovers cool, the better. So it's recommended to store food in shallow containers and leave room between them in the refrigerator to allow cold air to circulate. And if you're sending your guests home with Turkey Day treats,
be sure that you have chilled them down in the refrigerator out of the temperature danger zone. And then you will want to send them home in an ice chest so that they remain at a refrigerated temperature until they get home.
Be aware that leftovers are only good for 2 to 3 days after being cooked. If you have more food than can be eaten in that time, utilize your freezer. Food stored properly in the freezer is good for several months.
We have a tendency to kind of overcook, so we have leftovers, but we need to have a plan for those leftovers to be used. Depending on what day you serve your feast, within 2 to 3 days.
The Centers for Disease Control say many cases of the flu over the Thanksgiving holiday are actually cases of self-inflicted food poisoning.
There's some logic involved here. You can't abuse it and then reuse it and be perfectly safe. So prevention is always the key.
For food stored in the freezer, be sure and thaw it in the refrigerator a day before you want to eat it. And when in doubt, throw it out. Live in the studio, Michelle Langowski, News